I love building LEGO Star Wars creations, and in this video we are going to make 3 unique Star Wars bases. For the Droid Army on Utapau, for the Galactic Empire on Hoth, and for the First Order on Batuu. I must mention now that in my opinion each next creation is way better than the previous one, so make sure to watch till the end to see truly epic final result. The first creation is going to be an Imperial base on Hoth. I'm starting with the main foundation surrounded with black frame for nicer aesthetic, which will be used for all creations presented in today's video. I'm creating simple snow layout for little trench area, which is a very characteristic element for Hoth. Rebels used them in episode 5, so I guess Empire will too, once they created an outpost on such remote planet. Here is going to be located the path to few areas of the base. We need to level up this area, which will become foundation for the Imperial Speeder hangar. It's time to design the layout of the hangar and to place the floor in this short satisfying time lapse. Now that the floor has been made, let's create the hangar walls with a simple but effective pattern. On the outside I'm going to add bigger panel with many supporting systems. Let's complete the hangar by adding remaining parts of the third wall. Here I'm planning to make a remote turbo laser with entrance. Imperials will definitely put some defensive systems. The turret itself is my old design of 2015's Battlefront Imperial turret seen on Sulust. I really like how this turret component came out, it nicely complements this area. Now let's design the main entrance to the base. After a while I completed lower section of the base. I'm glad with the texture I was able to achieve here. I also reworked this side panel as its design didn't convince me and the second version works so much better. And I'm also going to rework the turret section as I feel like it could look a little bit better. Let's design the interior of the base. I'm putting various tiles to create simple but nicely textured floor. I'm also finishing the walls and incorporating some computer panels and details. In the meantime I designed the upper front section, as well as this entire roof component, which is heavily supported by the Technic structure. Let's finish the design of the roof by adding various tiles, textures, panels and details. Let's add it to the base. It's time to put some troopers, so enjoy this minifigure time. I really like how nicely snow blends in between each section of this enormous and heavily fortified base, which seems fitting for the powerful Empire. First base turned out great and we have still 2 more incoming. For the second creation we are going to make a droid base on Utapau. This time I'm going to use freeform as the main style of the terrain. This will give much more interesting look of mostly dark town with bits of olive green colored landscape. With finished freeform I'm leveling up the landscape as well as I'm continuing my work on the next parts of the terrain, utilizing various size tiles, plates, slopes and wedge parts, trying to create as naturally looking terrain as possible. Meanwhile, using side building technique, I created this landing pad which will perfectly fit into previously elevated terrain. Let's quickly make small path from landing pad to the entrance of the base, which is going to be quite simple in design, but rounded shapes will nicely add aesthetic to it. I'm also preparing the design for the energetic tubes that will be coming out from the base straight into the ground. I finished this part of the terrain as well as energetic tubes off camera, so we could focus on creating the droid base. Separatist Alliance's style has primary 3 colors, being light and dark grey as well as dark blue, and these are the colors we will be blending together while creating various shapes in the design of each wall. Just like that we have finished front section of the first level. Let's focus our attention on creating the interior of the droid base. On the right side are placed rounded doors similar to the ones outside. In the center is going to be a main computer system where droid pilots will be working, and on the left side is place for unactivated super battle droids. Let's cover entire floor in tiles in this short satisfying time lapse. Let's attach first roof component. Using side building technique I'm making right side of the base which will be way more taller than the rest of it. I'm incorporating many textures and details while still nicely blending light and dark grey with dark blue accents. I'm finishing the site with tiles and 2 heat reducers to complete the entire base. Now it's minifigure time. I am very happy with finished creation. The droid base looks modernistic and its rounded shapes heavily resemble CLS architecture. Additionally, landing pad is strongly inspired by Utapau scenes we see in Star Wars Episode 3. Still, there is one more epic creation in front of us. For the final creation, we are going to make First Order base on Batuu. After pre-planning the layout, I'm surrounding the black frame with the thin layer of the terrain and I'm placing foundation for the base. Let's create the main design of the base. I'm planning to make it a tall and powerful structure, being reminiscent of the fortified citadel. Let's make some base supports with incorporated ventilation to reduce heat from all the machinery inside the base. We have completed the first level of the base. Now it's time to create the interior of the base for the first and second level. Using LEGO stat shooters and using side building technique, I'm going to design the main entrance. Let's design the first level of the base. I'm placing here some computer systems, various crates and a simple door design with incorporated lights. Let's quickly make wall design which will be placed above the main doors. Now I'm preparing side walls for the second level of the base. Let's attach previously made wall to begin creation of the next level. Here I'm building simplistic wall which will have a very important role later on. Using brick with stats on the side, I'm creating these very nicely angled and textured panels for the front of the base. Let's quickly make roof component to connect all of these 3 sections. To complete the look of the base, I'm going to add this First Order symbol to the front center of our structure. Let's attach entire section to the rest of the First Order base. Let's design the interior for the second level, still maintaining this First Order aesthetic mainly inspired by the Starkiller base or outpost in Galaxy's Edge. To complete this section, let's attach computer panels with various systems to both walls. Also, I'm adding final component of the structure. First Order base turned out excellent and we have still a lot of space to cover. First, I'm designing platform in front of the base on which are going to be stormtroopers. Then I'm finishing the terrain on the right side with addition of smaller rock formations. Later we'll be working on the smaller part of the city. The element I have just attached is the component of the first building, which is very characteristic wall pattern for Batuu's architecture. Now I'm blending parts of the terrain with stone walkway using tiles, plates and wedge parts. Here is the look on the finished and a bit redesigned walkway. Now I will show you something great. After hours of hard work for me and just seconds for you, I'm so happy to present you components which will create the tall rounded building, which is a key element for the accurate recreation of Batuu. Just look at these smooth walls with a lot of textures I managed to achieve here. To not stay behind, let's focus our attention on the building in the corner, which similarly to the previously made one, I'm covering it in various textures and details. Meanwhile, I designed this tree to add more life to the city. Let's connect both buildings together by creating the arch above the walkway. What's left to do is adding some final components to complete the look of this city. And now probably the best part, setting up the minifigures. I love the final result. The amount of design, techniques and time this creation took was well worth it. Entire scene just looks like something from Batuu, which is our real life Galaxy's Edge. The First Order base and its forces are a menacing power over the peaceful and lively city, which is such a great contrast. Let me know which creation was your favorite. If you enjoyed these creations, check out my other LEGO creation visible on the screen.